I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the internet man, the cable guy that pulls that internet at the most crucial moment. For I am Darkwing Duck. Nah, just kidding. It's your boy, Jack Slater, the comic outlaw, coming to you live and loud from parts unknown. If you catch my drift, my little slice of heaven drifting around from the multiverse, on my little ship of ships that I may or may not have procured from someone. But anyways, that's neither here or there, and that's another story for another day, another tales of the multiverse, maybe. But anyways, we're here to talk about Darkwing Duck. We're doing a top five Darkwing Duck villains. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the show. Darkwing Duck was a show that came out in the 90s, around 1991. Great show. Had a great flow to it, a great rhythm. It was interesting because the show often got meta on itself. They did a lot of episodes actually like that. And it crossed over from DuckTales, of course. It had many crossover people. Gizmo Duck, for example. Forrest Launchpad McQuack. I think even the Beagle Boys were in it. It's interesting how the creator kind of crossed things over. He also left the door open. Spoilers towards the end for Rescue Rangers. I'm not going to say how. But like I said, great show. Corny, campy, of course. But that's just the way it was, Great show. It has it spoofs superheroes, it spoofs villains, and it's just a great like superhero show. I mean, just in general, for kids, for adults. I watched it recently. It's a wonderful show. But anyways, we're doing the top 5 villains. Now, let's go to number 5. I'm gonna have to say Stillbeak, the man from Foul, the fiendish organization for world larceny. Yeah. Those are the guys always getting into trouble. They're like sort of the James Bond villains. Like I said before, Stillbeak tends to dress up in that white suit of his. He has more of the James Bond-esque look. He always talked with that weird accent, had that laugh. I can't really do it, but I always liked him as a villain when he always popped up. I knew when Foul was around the corner, Stillbeak was usually getting his beak into it. Wonderful character. I enjoyed him immensely. Now, number 4. As a kid, I kind of sort of liked him, but not really. But later on, I understood his purpose and the humor of the character. I'm going to have to say Dr. Bushroot, the plant guy. Yeah, I know he's a little bit of a wuss. He's kind of nonsensical sometimes, but I love his ability to control plants. I like that he was a professor and he was trying to experiment, to give people a new food source through photosynthesis, and he kind of went too far. It's a great spoof on the idea of like a villain, like say Poison Ivy, Swamp Thing, if you want to do the hero route. Pretty enjoyable character. I liked all the little plant sidekicks. That's another reason I thought he was cool. Now number 3. And number 3, I just thought he looked cool, and I always liked the advertising gimmick, the Liquidator. I liked that he was kind of like a singing dog, and he always had like, when he appeared, he always had like these schemes, and he'd always sing it out, and he had that just car salesman, in the shows that you just wanted to punch in the face, but it was just so funny, and I liked his range of powers. Of course, throwing Jello at him does tend to stop him, so. But hey, this is a Disney cartoon, so what do you expect, right? Now, number 1 and number 2 kind of jump up and down, usually in my heart, but I'm going to have to say number 2 for me would be Negaduck. Negaduck is Darkwing Duck's evil version from another dimension. It's supposed to be the opposite of this one. Think like the parallel world of DC, where the crime syndicate runs things. He's a lot like Darkwing, except he's more of an asshole. That's why I've always liked him a little bit more. He's done crimes where he's framed Darkwing. He's teamed up with the villains. He's done a lot of interesting things. He's often more violent. Loves resorting to tools, bang guns. Generally just a great character to have in the show. And of of course, number one, I would have to say, is Megavolt. The voice of Homer Simpson. I mean, that's... And plus, Megavolt appeared in a lot of the episodes. He was kind of like Darkwing's foil. He knew him the longest in the cartoon if you watch it. Even in the last episodes, they were always seemed to be crossed together. Like, he was like his number one enemy, or the enemy that he was like kind of destined to fight. And Megavolt is just a nonsensical, very crazy, sort of loony, Joker-esque guy that does electricity, and a cup of water could probably stop him. But I always liked him. It was entertaining. A lot of his cartoons are pretty good. He plays off of Darkwing really well. So, like I said, great villains. And I like to give an honorable mention to Quacker Jack, who didn't make my list, obviously, because I just wasn't feeling him, as much as the others. The King, he was in a one-shot episode. I just thought that was cool, the electric guitar. Let's see. I mean, like I said, they had a lot of different villains that kind of came in and out of it. And I really enjoy the show. So, this is the Comic Outlaw. And that's my top 5 Darkwing Duck villains. So, hit me up. Anyone that's watching out there, subscribe to my channel so I can keep banging these hits out for you. And if you have anything to say to me, send me a reply, send me a letter, send me something. Ring that bell. That way you get updates on every time I drop a new show, and I'll see you on the flip side. I gotta go from multiverse to multiverse, so representing the yellow and black. Sinestro Corps, baby. Catch you on the flip side.